QT is a place to further academic studies, enhance a successful career and build a sky-high networking system. QT is also the place for coffee beans. Coffee at QUT is an essential daily pit stop, a caffeine hit for everyone. But which campus has the best coffee beans? Here or here? We went to the Beatles coffee cart at Kelvin Grove and interviewed Zoe, the barista there. Thanks so much for being here today. So how long have you been working in the coffee industry?
I started in February, so only about 3 months now.
So in your opinion, what makes a good coffee?
Obviously there are different variables. A lot of it is bean quality, so where it comes from. Ours is Alexa, so it's actually only from Stafford, but it's a industry that started with two brothers and they just like making good coffee, so they actually come around to the cafe quite frequently and check that we're doing it right, which is awesome. Another thing would be milk. A lot of people don't really know how to froth the milk right, and that can really affect how the coffee tastes.
And is there a particular trick of the trade to making a good coffee?
Practice, that's about it. Knowing what you want to achieve is a big thing as well. If you want to be good at latte art, it's like, well, you got to practice it.
What makes your coffee better than the coffees at Gardens Point?
I'd imagine that because we have so many creative industry students here, I guess the service is probably the biggest thing.
Thank you so much for your time.
That's right.
Well, the Kelvin Grove Beans secret is out, but what about Gardens Point? We're at the pantry at Gardens Point where we're going to interview John, the head barista. Let's go. Well, thanks so much for being here today.
My pleasure.
First of all, is it the taste or the service that makes a good coffee?
Oh, taste, 100%. Yeah, I mean, service is a big part. Obviously, nobody likes bad service, but I'd happily put up with crap service for good coffee any day. So.
And what makes a coffee taste good?
It's a combination of a few things, I suppose. If you want to get into the technical parts, the extraction of the actual coffee in an espresso machine is the thing that makes it taste good. There's a few things that go into a good extraction of a shot of coffee. The grind, how finely it's ground or how coarse it's ground, the pressure in the coffee machine, how much water gets put through. All of those things sort of have to be spot on, otherwise it's going to taste bitter or it's going to taste watery or there's a few different things that'll happen. Yeah.
Is there a particular technique that you have to making good coffee?
It's just tasting it, I think. That's the main thing. A lot of people don't taste. It's like chefs that don't taste their own food. You know, if you don't taste it, you're not going to know what's going on. So as long as you're tasting it the whole time and you're able to make the fine adjustments that you need to make, then yeah, it's pretty straightforward, really.
Is there anything that you do that makes your coffee or the coffee at Gardens Point better than the coffee at Kelvin Grove?
I actually have never tasted any coffee from Kelvin Grove, so I couldn't say that for sure. What makes the coffee I make better than what makes other people do? I'm not sure. I've always been told that I make good coffee, I suppose, but I drink a lot of coffee, so I wouldn't want to put out bad coffee because I know how much people like drinking good coffee, and it means something to me that people get a good coffee when I make it for them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your
worries.
time.
Pleasure.
That's great. So let's ask the customers what they think makes a good coffee.
Just the strength of the coffee. I find it makes it better to taste.
It's got to be hot. It's got to be strong.
I like a good strong coffee taste and creaminess as well.
I think good coffee is about really the quality of the bean.
Pretty quick, I suppose, is a bonus. But if it's really good coffee, I don't mind waiting 5-10 minutes for it.
I like it when they ask your name and they call your name out. That's very nice and personal.
Friendly staff is a huge one.
I think for me it's easy. Just sometimes I don't care too much about coffee. I just care about the environment. If the environment is good, I feel coffee is good.
Like I'm pretty particular with the taste, so if I like one place, I just generally go to that one.
I never go a day without a coffee. I have not been known ever to go a day without a coffee. That's very important.
So there's a range of different opinions about what makes a good coffee and a bad coffee. There's the atmosphere, the service, and definitely the taste. While there isn't a clear QUT campus winner, at the end of the day, it's the customer's personal flavour preference that separates the beans.